I don't know if there is any better way for us to start tonight's discussion other than reviewing the moderate extremism demonstrated by ECOWAS after Thursday's summit. We saw resolutions that claimed that everything is on the table, including force. So the bargain and everything has been brought. But how is Ambazonia intricately linked? The Gulf of Guinea is facing a risk. The wars are increasing. Boko Haram in the north, kidnapping in the north, in the northern part of Nigeria. That cuts across to the eastern part of, of Nigeria, where you have the Fulani headsmen are not resting with their armed banditry. Again, Nigeria facing hikes in dollar price exchange and naira getting to an escalating high, is claiming to go to a war under the leadership of a president whose candidacy is under question. Our concern here is what happens tomorrow. There is a tweet I like to read out to you. The president sent out. Star Smart read it earlier on, but you permit me to read it again to refresh our minds. The president said some things that are really interesting, and there is no doubt that if the West will hearken, or the United States to be precise, will hearken to whatever he has to offer, there could be some hope. There could be some remedy from the Wagner group that is spreading so rapidly. And this was what the president tweeted, I quote, "I spent the week briefing key congressional staffers of members of the White House and about the latest from Cameroon and Southern Cameroons." Now we have the State House website clearly shown on that. And it says, and I called on the U.S. Congress to urge Secretary Blinken to lead talks between the two sides. He's talking about the Federal Republic of Ambazonia and French Cameroon. Talks between the two sides. The key word there is without preconditions. Amazing. Barr Fru, I should start with you in link with what is happening in West Africa.
Yes, Paddy, thank you for giving me the floor. I want to think that the president. Yes, can you hear me? Are you getting me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Go right ahead, please.
Okay. The president's tweet and message is to the point because he has been having meetings all week with congressional staffers and others in the U.S. system. I will not go into details about that, but look at what is happening in Africa, particularly the West African bloc. When I hear people say ECOWAS is going to attack Niger, that statement is even wrong because part of ECOWAS is going to attack part of another ECOWAS because Burkina Faso, Guinea-Conakry, Mali, and Niger are part of ECOWAS. And I want to support what all of Nigeria is talking to the illegitimate president of Nigeria called Tinubu, Bola Tinubu, whatever. If he thinks that he can act as a proxy for the French to attack Niger, he is going to plunge Nigeria into a war that will have catastrophic results for Nigeria. I listened to a professor, a Nigerian prominent professor from the north, a specialist on African affairs and in political science. He said, if Tinubu gets Nigeria involved in a war in Niger, Tinubu should be ready to fight all of northern Nigeria. I want to make it clear here that Nigeria is not even a powerful military in Africa. I listened to a classification of the most powerful military people in Africa, and Nigeria comes number 4. Egypt is number 1, South Africa 2, Algeria 3, and Nigeria 4th. Algeria has already indicated that they will join in the fight on the side of Niger. You must know, Paddy, that Niger boundaries with Algeria, and the other 3 countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, and the Guinea Conakry, are already ready for the fight, and they'll be joined by Algeria. And let me also say that the Wagner Group is present in Burkina Faso and is present in Mali. What does that tell you? Among the NATO countries in Europe, Italy has already fired a shot on the French. I listened to the Prime Minister of Italy yesterday, where she was telling the world that has lived on the exploitation of minerals in Africa against the interests of the people of Africa, that France has impoverished all of Africa. The 14 countries that they colonized in Africa, France has impoverished them. And that Italy will not be a party to any kind of war unleashed by on an African country by the French in the name of NATO. That's to tell you that NATO is getting split over this issue. The European Union is quiet on all this. What does that tell you? Ambazonia is the leader, is the fight in Ambazonia has brought into the body politics of Africa what is going on right now. The French are losing Africa. They are losing at the rate that the other African old heads like Paul Biya, Obiangema, and Sesengesu will not be able to hold their own in Central Africa. Which means that if they don't listen to the youths, if they don't listen to what is happening in other countries, they will face the wrath that the powerhouse in Niger has faced up to now. The military coup in Niger has opened a can of worms for African youths to stand up. Therefore, America is in a very difficult situation because they have, for the last 7 years that we have been fighting this war, America has not spoken on the importance of the Gulf of Guinea. They are sitting quiet, and this is the time they are now well, and they have subjected our president to 10 different meetings to find out what is going on. It is now that they want to get serious. You want to get serious now? I hope it is not late, because the African youth are taking on the Russians and whining with the Russians and demonstrating with Russian flag. It's a bad time for the West, particularly the United States. So I am saying that if Secretary Blinken does not act on the Gulf of Guinea, tomorrow the Wagner group that is in Central Africa and Paul Biya dancing with Putin, as we saw on television a week ago when he visited St. Petersburg, when they all visited St. Petersburg and held a conference with Putin, that is an indication that America's influence in Africa is in big trouble. Therefore, America must stand up now. Otherwise, I ask the question, are they willing to lose the Gulf of Guinea to the Russians? The Ambazonians are the only people now, right now, that can protect the Gulf of Guinea for all of us. And we are not saying that we will give it to anybody. If we have to do anything in the Gulf of Guinea, it will be on a win-win situation. And even right now, the United States does not have any win-win situation on the African continent if they continue to sleep.
That's quite.
Paddy, that is the short umpiring.
I know, Barrister Fru,
yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
That's quite amazing. I know if I have to leave you on that, there's so much in your bowels that you want to educate Ambazonians this evening. Homefront has been looking forward to this discussion. You know, for a long time with the pre-draft shows, we've not had it. You've said some things that are of great interest, and I think we will use by the team to elaborate more on them.